Well, good evening, or should I say good morning. This is John Unell, aka John I Fly from Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania. It's early Sunday morning. Wanted to get this earlier in the day, this rant, but I didn't get the time to do it. But now I have some time, so this is not going to be a long one. But what a hell of a week, people. Wow. We finally had the first full week of the new President of the United States, Joe Biden, in as president. And I'll tell you what, I don't envy his job. I really don't. And by the way, sorry for the hack, and I don't know, I once in a while I get sinus infections and stuff, so hopefully it's nothing else. Otherwise, I feel fine. So, but anyway, this past week we finally had the first article of impeachment, the only article, was delivered to the Senate on the 25th of this month. So, in about, well, now it's probably less than 2 weeks. The week of February the 8th, they'll start the trial. I think it's going to start on the 9th from what I hear. But, so we're going to have that to deal with. But in the meantime, Joe Biden signed at least over 42 executive orders. So he's not wasting any time, thank God for that. But he has his work cut out for him. But one thing that the president said is that he doesn't feel that we're going to have the 17 votes needed in the Senate to convict Donald Trump. I don't know. It probably doesn't look that way now, but I don't like to count my chickens before they're hatched, you know. I wished he wouldn't have said that because we don't really know what's going to go on. The odds may be against us, but then again, once the trial is held, we may have some actual people. Republicans might change their minds. We don't know. The way they're acting now, it's not really good. But one thing that was tossed around, but I don't think they can do this. But my understanding that you have to have a conviction first, and if he's convicted, then they would have another vote on whether he should lose his benefits, his privileges, what have you, Secret Service protection, pension. But I know they had talked, I believe it was on CNN, they had talked about, well, is it possible that they could just, if they don't convict him, can they see if they can take his benefits away? But I don't think that's constitutional. I wish they could, but well, you never know. We just have to wait to see till the trial is done. But in the meantime, our economy is kind of struggling along here. And the unemployment figures for the week ending 1/23, or January the 23rd, were not doing too good. We had, looks like here, 847,000 new jobless claims were filed last week. And also, there was a 3.5% contraction under the last quarter of Trump, obviously. And it worked out to like 45 weeks in a row of losses. Can you imagine that? 45 weeks of losses. But Donald Trump got into office. Oh, we're going to create all these jobs for you. Man, we're going to make America great again. People are going to look up to America and, oh man, they're going to marvel. Well, I love my country, but let's be realists too. Donald Trump was full of bullshit. That's what he was. He was sending out everybody a line, and it was a lie. That's all it was. But it's crazy. Between the COVID virus, that's not helping us, and this impeachment, well, it has to be done. The impeachment has to be done. You can't have a president like this that thinks that he can get away with nonsense. Just because it's the last month of his presidency doesn't give him the right to go out there and break the law or push the limits. No. He swore and he took an oath to defend and protect the Constitution of the United States. And he failed miserably, people. Miserably. He's incompetent. He was never competent to be president. Why the hell people voted him in, I still will never know. Well, people thought, well, you know, he's a new guy. He was a businessman. He can do it. No. Biggest mistake. They believed his bullshit lies. But I don't know. I just from day one, I just did not feel right about him. And then when he was voted in, when he gave his inaugurational speech, he was talking very tough. Oh yes, we're going to make America great again. And whatever I remember him saying something like, well, this is going to stop right here and right now. And you could just look at the crowd and you could tell that they weren't happy like when Joe Biden got elected and gave his inaugural address. There's such a world of difference between the two. But anyway. We did have the president, he signed more executive orders and actions. And I don't have all of them. I know it's like around 42. And basically he reversed a lot of what Trump did. I'm happy, especially for the transgender people. He reversed that about serving in the military and the LGBTQ community. So, I know he signed something about that, so that's fantastic. I mean, you could just see a world of difference between what Trump was and how he ran the country and how Joe Biden is running the country. World of difference. And I know with this economic situation, I know the president wants them to have a bipartisan agreement. He wants to have it passed this week. But I have a sneaky suspicion it's not going to be bipartisan, because they're already talking about using the reconciliation. And I believe it would be a simple majority to get the bill passed. You know, he wants to work with the Republicans, but I'm going to tell you something. They gave us a hard time the past 4 years. What makes you think they're going to change now? Even with Trump not there. He's got his minions there. Like Nancy Pelosi said. She said the enemy is within. And it's true. It's really true. So, anyway, that's a whole new subject about. I don't see if I got this more. I can never get her. I'm pronouncing her first name right. Marjorie, I believe it is. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Boy, what a mistake that was. The people voted her in, and then the leader, the Republican leader of the House, I think his name is McCarthy, decides to have her on the Education Committee. Isn't that amazing? Even though she was harassing that David Hogg, one of the Parkland students he survived the massacre that happened. This was before she got elected, but she's walking behind him, showed her harassing him about, oh, you're threatening to take the gun rights away, and oh, how do you do it that you get all these people to listen to you, and I get zero. I'm a gun-carrying whatever. All that bullshit that she's spewing out. So, the leader of the Republicans in the House, I think his name is McCarthy. I don't have it written down here. I don't see it, but anyway, he's supposed to have a talk with her. Just a little talk. So, what do you think, people? Do you think he's going to really give it to her and say, get in line, girl, or you're going to have problems? Or is he just going to say, let's just tone it down a bit, you know? We don't want to stir the pot too much. After all, we're looking forward to 2022, and we want to take over the House and gain seats in the Senate. Yeah, that's all they're worried about. But I'll tell you what, the Republican Party they're having it rough nowadays. And you know what? I don't feel sorry for them one bit. Not one bit. They're having a civil war right in their own party between the real radicals and the moderates, conservatives. So, we shall see what happens. But personally, I'm enjoying it. You know, they deserve everything they get. They really do. They're not for the people, that's for sure. They are not for the people. So, anyway, we are dealing with the pandemic. It just came on TV. There's how many different, what is it now, where they change, they turn into different variants of the virus. And it's kind of serious. There's questions as to whether the vaccine will be able to protect against the new strains. But we shall see. I know the president wants to increase the amount of vaccinations. Now, from what I heard, I'm hoping this figure is right. You can double check it, but I have here 300 million doses of vaccines should be ready by the end of summer of 2021. And that was according to CNN. But if they can push it a little more, I think they're calling for over 1 million vaccinations a day, if I remember correctly. 1.1 million, something like that. But they can do more than that. I'll tell you what. Well, I think we're up to what? God, I think it was like 434,000 deaths. They did say, it's probably more now. They did say tonight, though, that the hospitalizations are going down. I hope that's a permanent thing, but you know how it is with these viruses. They go up and down, and, it depends on, if how people, how they take it seriously. Are they wearing masks? Are they social distancing? This is very important. Some people out there really believe it's fake. But I'm telling you, people, this is very, very real. And I'm so grateful that we have a president that's in office that takes it serious and he actually relies on science. And he wants things to be done, So this thing with the economy, it's like the economy and the virus are kind of like going hand in hand, The reason why we're in this mess is because of the pandemic. And, of course, Donald Trump did not help because he pretended it didn't exist in the beginning and then, it'll go away when the weather warms up. I can't believe how he said this stuff and people, I don't know, I'm just totally, I can't believe that we're in this mess. I can't believe personally that people fell for this bullshit that came out of Donald Trump's mouth. And you think of it too, well, yes, you have impeachment to get rid of him, but in the Republican Party you have diehards. Trump could do no wrong. And when a president's elected, he can serve 4 years per term. He can only do 2, he can run again and serve another 4 years, with a total of 8 years. But the American people, they had to wait till election to vote his ass out. And he's pissed off. He just thought he had to get in there and serve another 4 years, and it wasn't to be. The American people spoke, even though he had his minions rush the Capitol, and they were showing that tonight on CNN. I'll tell you, I got to watch some of it. It's unbelievable. When you think about the sway that Donald Trump has on his base and on the fringe group, I don't think we've heard the last of these people, and we have to be vigilant. And if anything, we have to fight. People, the event of the past 3 weeks and what happened on the 6th of January is proof positive, that our democracy is fragile. I admit myself, growing up, you take it for granted. Well, we've always lived in a free nation. It's always going to be free. And January the 6th of this year proved quite different. You could lose it just like that. So we need to stand up and, like my good friend John Budvo said, we have to be the guardians of liberty. And he's right. So, like I said, we're going to see what happens this coming week. I know the impeachment starts on the week of the 8th. I think they're going to start the trial on the 9th. So, it's supposed to be a quick trial. They only have the one charge. But I'm telling you, the Democrats need to lay this out. They have it all, with the video, everything. Lay it out, everything. And there can be no doubt. The Republicans will probably still fight it, whatever. But if anybody has a decent conscience, if anybody in the Republican side has any sort of a conscience left, they'll vote the right way. And they'll vote to convict Donald John Trump of trying to usurp the United States government. And as far as I'm concerned, he's a traitor. We don't have to deal with him as president anymore, or at least for now. And just when we think he would go away, he's still there in the background. He's like a puppet master pulling those little strings. And that lady, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she claims she had a phone call. I think it was yesterday, or it might have been today. And she's kissing his ass big time. So we haven't heard the last of these people, but we have to be vigilant and we have to stand up and fight against them. We definitely cannot, like somebody said today, we can't have him back in office. We cannot allow that to happen. He caused a lot of problems his first term. We have Joe Biden as president now, who's doing all he can to get our economy back on the tracks again, getting our health care back on that Donald Trump tried to destroy. So he's doing all these things. We really gotta keep the Democrats in, people, because they are the party that helps the common man. They're the party that helps the unions, and they want to see the best for the American worker and for the retirees as well. So that's about all I have here. I think I covered everything. I do have something here. Well, this is nothing, no surprise to me. Senator John, I believe you pronounce it Barrasso. He's a Republican from Wyoming. He doesn't support impeachment trial. He says the people want to move on now. Really? Don't buy that bullshit from these people. No, we need to get the facts straight. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, or ex-president, I should say, it's quite clear that he incited a mob to go down to the Capitol and to stir up insurrection. We can't let that go, people. You can't. So they just want us to brush it under the rug like, oh, it didn't happen. Let bygones be bygones. Man, you do this and man, we'll work together, bipartisan. They're full of shit too. Don't believe them. Not one bit. So anyway, that's all I have to say right now. Remember, you can follow me on YouTube. I go as John I Fly, JOHNIFLY on YouTube. And on Facebook, I use my real name, John Unell. And be sure to follow me on there. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And I'll be in touch soon. We'll do another rant. I wanted to wait at least toward the end of the week. That way I had several things to talk about. But oh, and if you live in the Northeast, get ready for supposed to have a pretty big snowstorm, but I'm hearing 3 to 5 inches of snow or 6 inches of snow. We'll see what happens. We'll know for sure once the storm's over. But we're going to get snow showers tomorrow a little bit. Let's hope it's a little bit. And then Monday's going to be the day. So I got what I need. I'm going to hibernate indoors. So, okay. Just take care of yourself, everybody. Remember to wear your mask, wash your hands, and stay away from people that don't practice good hygiene. We want to keep this virus contained. Make sure when the time comes that you can get your vaccination, you go out and get it. So Johnson & Johnson's looking pretty promising for the one-shot deal, but we shall see. Just keep practicing your social distancing, mask wearing, and washing your hands for at least 22 seconds. All right, well, listen, you take good care of yourself, and I will be talking to you soon. Thanks again for listening to me, and feel free to comment in the comment sections. I'd love to hear from you, see what your thoughts are. Maybe one of these days I can figure out how to go live. That shouldn't be too hard, but I have several headsets here, and I have only so many USB ports to plug into my computer, so I'll figure something out. I think my camera has a microphone on it already. But anyway, all right, well, listen, take care, people. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Good night.